This historic nature of my confirmation is not lost on me, but I will say it's not about me. Rather, I hope this nomination would be an inspiration for Americans.
That is Democratic Congresswoman from New Mexico, Deb Haaland. She's been nominated to become the first Native American person to head up the Department of the Interior. As a matter of fact, if confirmed, the representative would also be the first Native person to serve as any cabinet secretary. This morning, she was speaking in front of the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee during her first confirmation hearing. And Michael Johnson is the director of advancement with the NDN Collective. The collective works to build Indigenous power through activism and philanthropy. Michael knows Colorado well, earned his bachelor's in political science while up at CU Boulder. So as a Native man yourself, Michael, can you talk about what this confirmation would mean for you personally as well as for Indigenous people?
Yeah, thank you so much. And, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all today. Speaking for myself as a Native man, a citizen of the 3 affiliated tribes of North Dakota, but also a Colorado native. I was born and raised here. I think this appointment is really something that's kind of overwhelming. Representation really matters. Visibility matters. I think as a lot of us continue to organize and seek accountability and reconciliation in this country, having Indigenous people represented in this administration is really meaningful. 2 years ago, we had Congresswoman Haaland and Davids elected as the first 2 Native women into Congress, and having her, nominated and picked for this cabinet position is quite an honor. And I think it, is validating and speaks to the legacy and the work of the generations of my grandmother and of my mother, and speaks to the aspirations of the future for my own children, and have an aspirational example of what we can do together in the future.
She represents New Mexico, just to the south in the Congress, but she has strong ties here, including championing one plan to conserve 30% of lands and water by the year 2030 to try and protect future generations. Also supporting the CORE Act, for which she's gotten quite a bit of support from one of the members she was in front of today, new Senator John Hickenlooper. Where else do you expect to see as far as her most important movement if confirmed?
Yeah, I think it was an interesting kind of parlay back and forth today at the hearing. We did see some kind of microaggressions and some politically motivated hyperbole coming from the senators out of Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota, going as far as to mansplaining land management issues to an Indigenous woman who comes from the land and has experience with these issues. So I think some of the political posturing out of the way, we can get to the work. I think Joe Neguse being nominated to the chair of the subcommittee on national parks, forests, and public lands puts Colorado in another good negotiating position. And as you mentioned, I think the CORE Act is enjoying strong bipartisan support and something we can see coming together here in Colorado. Senator Hickenlooper also mentioned the BLM headquarters moves out here to the west, and I think we'll see some exciting stuff come out of those issues in the future for Colorado.
Some of that pushback you talked about today, it seemed had little to do with Representative Haaland herself. It more had to do with fossil fuel Democrat versus Republican type of territory.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of some of that political rhetoric and hyperbole we have to be careful about. I mean, labeling somebody who's concerned about the environment and our land as radical is dangerous and irresponsible.
We will continue to follow it. And Michael, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to share some of your thoughts with us today. Michael Johnson, again, the Director of Advancement with the NDN Collective. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.